related to the, believe it or not, 4th annual Firefly Music Festival and the inaugural Big Barrel Country Music Festival. My comments will be brief. In music festival parlance, I am today's warm-up band, so my comments will be brief, but again, thank you for joining us this morning. If you recall, last winter, the Delaware Economic Development Office, along with Red Frog and the Speedway, commissioned the University of Delaware to do a economic impact study from the results of Firefly 2014. That study showed that over $68 million of economic impact happened, which was directly attributable to the music festival last year. And so if you combine that with Big Barrel Country Music Festival coming a week later, I'm certainly not an economic impact prognosticator, but you certainly would lend you to believe that these two music festivals for our city, county, state, and region could reach $90 to $100 million. So significant impact for all of us, thanks to those two music festivals, and thanks to Red Frog. That success doesn't happen overnight without the risk of that Red Frog has taken the last few years, without their commitment, both financially and just with human capital. Of course, none of this would happen. But it also takes local and regional and national vendors to make that success happen. And so to that, we want to thank everybody that has been a part of this for the last 4 years. In addition to the economic impact of those dollars, it does create a wonderful worldwide visibility. Along with our 2 NASCAR events, those 4 events bring us tremendous exposure to the community and our state, and really does make our state now kind of a destination place, especially with the addition of these 2 great music festivals. At the top of our priority list, whether it's for NASCAR or these 2 music festivals, is always public safety. And of course, part of public safety is the importance that traffic management plays in all of this. A couple of years ago, we had some challenges. Last year, we made some huge strides. And our goal collectively, thanks to DelDOT, Red Frog, our staff at the Speedway, the City of Dover Police Department, the Delaware State Police, and of course DelDOT, collectively we're partners, as Sandy, I think, poignantly mentioned in her introduction, partners in everything that we do as it relates to traffic management. And it really is a process where we're just not starting to plan this now. It started a year ago, right after the 2014 event. So it's an ongoing process that we take great pride in. And our goal is to make sure that the 80,000 fans or more that will be coming in for Firefly from 50 states and 24 countries or thereabouts. And now Greg will tell you, has better information than I do, but 30 or 35,000 fans for Big Barrel, that they come in and out of our city without a lot of angst, and especially to our local residents, it doesn't create a lot of issues for them as well. So we work really hard at that. And so without further ado, I want to bring up Greg Bostrom, who is a festival director. I want to point out that he's joined by Michael Coco and Josh Moore back there. That's part of the group that's really been a part of this from day one, and it's been their vision and their commitment to our community that has really made this whole thing happen. So without further ado, I'll bring up Greg for his comments this morning.
Sandy, for helping to organize all of this, getting us all together. Like Mike said, and like all of you, I'm really just here for the headliner, Gene Donaldson, but I'll do my best to entertain you in the intern. We stood here last year talking about 2013 Firefly, because as Mike alluded, there were some challenges in 2013. We grew a lot, and we felt the growing pains, and we talked about how 2014 was going to be a whole different ball game. I think it was a term Gene used. We added a whole day of the festival, in large part to alleviate some of the traffic concerns of 2013. We added a Wednesday loading option to get people to spread our loading from 3 days to 1 day, or other way around, from 1 day to 3 days. And I'm happy to report, I think it was a resounding success. A lot of the initiatives we put into place It really was a whole different ballgame last year, and we're really pleased collectively with the results we had. So I think 2015 is taking a successful 2014 plan and making incremental improvements and really drawing on what we did well and improving a few things that we noticed from last year. Mike mentioned earlier, but I'd be remiss to not also thank all of our partners, DIS and the entire crew that helps certainly a lot in this operation, but across the whole board for Firefly. DelDOT, everyone involved, the Delaware State Police, Dover PD, and all the various local public safety agencies that go into this planning. And of course, Josh and Michael, who really take the lead from our side, and I just stand up here and give the high-level bullet points. So thanks to everyone involved. The planning started a month after the 2014 event, and everyone has been incredibly dedicated to continuing the success of last year and making a smooth operation for the fans, but also the community. I'll go into some of the improvements we made for this year's Firefly after last year's plan. First of all, I talked about the Wednesday loading operation that we added for last year. We're doubling down on that for all intents and purposes. We're expanding the capacity of the Wednesday loading. So if the goal is to get people to load in earlier, we're going to have the capacity for even more people to come on Wednesday, which will help. We're also starting a 24-hour loading operation on Wednesday and Thursday of the festival this year. That's sort of in response to a few of the overnight hours last year. We got some queues as people waited to get in the gates. People really are excited to get to the Woodlands, if you haven't noticed yet. We've added 12,000 feet of new roads on site. And it's hard to believe because I think every year I come up here and tell you how many thousands of feet we add, but 12,000 feet of new roads, that helps with the internal efficiencies. Once people get to our lots, it helps us sort them easier internally. We added a new staff lot that's going to take 1,500 cars per day out of the standard fan traffic and into a different traffic pattern, which we'll talk about a bit, but that's another efficiency. We added lighting and shuttles along Persimmon Lane. Last year we had issues of pedestrian traffic crossing with vehicle traffic sort of in the behind-the-scenes space, so we added lighting and shuttles to alleviate that. We've made improvements to the tolling process. We'll once again be using RFID technology. Our goal is a maximum of 30 seconds per vehicle to process. Last year was 45 seconds, so we're hoping to improve there. We've also added an off-site will call location for all fans, staff, and artists at Delaware Tech. That's going to take, again, several hundreds and thousands of vehicles away from the standard load-in procedure for people that need to pick up their passes. We'll take them out of the mix, so that'll just increase the efficiency. So like I said, I'll let some of the experts talk about more of the details on the plan, but we're really pleased with the coordination between all the agencies. Want to thank everyone involved for their work and efforts in continuing to improve Firefly in what's now the 4th year of this beast. And then, of course, we have Big Barrel Country Music Festival. It was getting, it was 4 years in. We wanted something new, I guess, so let's bring the excitement back with a brand new festival. We're projecting between 30 and 35,000 people, as Mike said. Tickets are still on sale. So that's going to make it as big or bigger than Firefly 2012, which was the first year. So if you remember the anticipation and the feelings of there might be something big on our hands with Firefly, we feel the same way about Big Barrel Country Festival, and it's exciting to think about what might become of this event, and it's exciting to come into this event with what will be 4 years of loading Firefly, and we'll draw from that expertise for Big Barrel. We're expecting about 15,000 campers. That's going to be similar to Firefly the first year. The major difference from a traffic perspective, as Gene will speak further to, we're keeping all of the camping and parking on the east side of Route 1 is the plan. The main thing that we'll do from a traffic perspective, it will allow us to keep the bridge on Lipsick Road that crosses over Highway 1. We'll be able to keep that open for the event, whereas for Firefly it has to be closed for pedestrians to go back and forth. So that'll be a huge help. We'll also start with 24-hour loading operations for Big Barrel, something we learned from Firefly. That'll start on Thursday. And like I said, I think the main thing is we'll have 4 Fireflies under our belt. We'll take all the incremental improvements we made every year from Firefly, and we'll translate that into Big Barrel. So without further ado, like I said, I'll get into hand it over to some of the experts here. I'll get further into the detailed plans, but we're really excited for the 4th year of Firefly, very excited for the 1st year of Big Barrel. Thank you all for being out here. And I will introduce Jennifer Cohen, who is the Secretary of the Delaware Department of Transportation.
Very exciting times with these 2 music festivals. When I took over as Secretary of Department of Transportation, I'm like, yay, Firefly. And then I heard about Big Barrel, and I'm like, that's awesome too. And they're like, it's the weekend after Firefly. I was like, oh, man. But we can do it. We absolutely can do it. And I do want to thank Greg and Mike for being here. I mean, this really has been a partnership. It will not work without that. And to both of their credits, they don't have to put this level of energy into pre-planning for these types of events. But they care about this community, and they care about their festival goers and the people that live in the surrounding community. So thank you very much for your pre-planning. As everybody knows, there's tens of thousands of people who live and work in Dover, and then even tens of thousands of more that commute through Dover. So we want to make this as seamless as possible. And to be honest, we've learned a lot every single year. And I kind of refer to this now as NASCAR. We're getting to the point where we can do this with our eyes closed. Big Barrel is going to be a whole new challenge for us the following weekend, but we're looking forward to that, and we think we've got a really great plan in place. And now I actually want to do a call to action to our friends in the media. We do a great job using our social media, Red Frog's social media, but we actually want to count on you as well to help us get the information out to not just festival goers on their way in, but as they're at the festival and as they are departing the festival. So we're hoping that you guys can lend us a hand with making sure that we get as much information out to those festival goers as possible. So looking forward to your help on that. And as we say, we are not the headliners for the main event. So Gene Donaldson, who actually will be our Sir Gene Donaldson, as Sir Paul McCartney is the headliner for Firefly. And he will go over actually the plans and the traffic patterns that we're going to be looking at for both festivals. And he's been working at this. Again, they've been meeting every single month since the last festival. So a lot of time and energy, and I want to thank Gene and everybody for their efforts on that. So without further ado, Sir Gene Donaldson, our Transportation Management Center expert.
Thank you. How we manage these events, we have, as a department, since 1999, been building a transportation management program and system. We have a variety of technology that monitors our transportation system, our multimodal transportation system every day. And that technology continues to expand. That really helps us managing these types of events. We have a 24-hour transportation management center located along Route 1 near Smyrna. That's where I stay in these events, so nobody can get at me. But that's where I stay because I see more there than if I was down here. We have so much technology and other information coming in. So the TMC manages statewide. At the facility, we have a command post, a joint operations center, that all the police and fire and DelDOT and others are inside of that facility, which is directly connected to the TMC. And so we're in constant contact with each other and how we're going to manage these events. And so I do want to add to, we established a traffic management committee for the NASCAR events probably 15 years ago. And we meet on a monthly basis, as everyone said, to discuss, well, the last race, but then plan the future. And then our friends from Red Frog came along and Firefly was added. So that team, as everybody said, is made up of Dover International Speedway representatives, Delaware State Police, Dover Police, and Red Frog now is our member along with DelDOT. So we meet every month. We're now friends. We talk to each other. Sometimes we grumble with each other, but we get there. And and the other big thing is information. Our secretary mentioned it. We depend on all of you to help us get information out. We do it every day. The big push we push is our app and our website, but you can get to the app, a DelDOT app at Google Play and at the App Store, Apple App Store. And every day it's real-time information, but we add special things for these major events. Where are the delays? Where's the parking issues? All of those kinds of things will be real-time. So let me just walk through what's going to happen here. And I'll start with Firefly. The traffic, about 70% of the traffic attending these events comes from the north. And so for Firefly, the event area is right here, Firefly Festival area. The Lot 18 is the popular site for Firefly. That's where the premier RV and camping and so forth will be. And then on down through, and as you know, Firefly, this whole area is filled with tents and RVs up here and so on. There is a whole lot of people and vehicles that arrive. So we work, as everybody's saying, and on Wednesday at noon, the toll plaza, we affectionately call it, nobody charges you there, they just check your credentials. She would like me to do that.
Next year, maybe.
So so from the north, you will come down Route 1, is what we'll tell you. You get off at exit 104 and come south on US 13 to 88, Road 88 or Leipzig Road, and make a left turn, and you'll see the signing and so forth. The inner Lot 1, we call it, the major big lot near the track. That all of the signals in this area are on our computerized signal system. We're adjusting the signals to get people through, and the big thing is we've really worked to, once these gates are open, they're open. We're not closing gates again where we got in trouble before. And so they're open, which the only problem we had last year was there was people, I want to get to the event. We hopefully have eliminated that with how we're opening the gates and keeping them open. From the south, you'll come up Route 1, and from the west, you'll probably come across Route 8. You'll hit US 13 and come up 13 to Jeffrey Boulevard. You'll see signing, we'll have electronic signing and other information all over the place. And you'll be directed to turn into Jeffrey Boulevard into Lot 1 where you'll be processed. That's campers and RVs. I want to stress we got to separate this a little bit. Campers and RVs who are going to end up, we'll start filling this on Wednesday and work across, and by most of the campers will be in Friday night into Saturday morning. They all should be in. And so then all of this would be filled. For day trippers, there are no, the other thing that was done, there's no single day passes, and they're all 4-day passes, but not everybody's camping. So we have people that will be coming to the event on a daily basis. They're going to be directed to go to the main entrance of Dover International Speedway. And they do not have to go through the toll plaza. So we don't want that traffic mixed in with the camping traffic. They'll enter in here, and this area will be reserved for day parking for the event. The big way to get information, again, is off the app, but we are the nation's only state transportation agency to own a primary licensed radio station. I'm not competing with anybody in the room, but 1380 AM, you'll see the sign say to tune to 1380 AM. We can get you a lot more information than I can write on a sign over the radio station. And so between that and the app, and you can listen to the radio station on our app, anywhere you can get the signal. So we'll be providing information on what's happening, any delays, that kind of thing. And we'll be in constant contact with field forces. This does not work. The only way this works is we have great people that know each other, work together in the field, they've worked multiple events together, and so they know what to do even if something's happening. One event a few years ago, we had a house sort of catch on fire and fell in the roadway at 13 in Smyrna, all for part of a race, but we managed it. So we never know what might happen. So keep listening, because I never know what might happen. All right. And then we're going to take questions at the end. Let me talk about Big Barrel. Big Barrel, again, I want to stress is the first, but it's pretty big first time. And so we've really been concentrating over the past year on Big Barrel. And basically, on Thursday, again, to help get traffic here, to get the campers here, starting at Thursday, the 25th at noon, all of the people coming to here, but coming from the north, still get off at 104, exit 104, come to US 13, and south to Leipzig Road 88, and we're going to take you into here, where you're actually going to be, the toll plaza, or check-in point, will be in lot 18. So those campers and so forth, and those that have passes for lot 18 and all, they'll go in here and be parked. And then when the event actually starts, there is also going to be day trippers. And day trippers, this area here, which, as you see on this map, is part of the Firefly Festival, the big area. Red Frog's goal and our goal is this becomes a big area again for Big Barrel, that it grows, that it needs bigger. But for this event, day parking will start here, will be here. We'll fill that, and then we'll start filling towards the track, to Route 1. And if there's an issue that there's not enough parking here, we've already arranged that we'll start parking in the paved lot, the south lot of the track. So, so if you're coming from the south, again, get off of Route 1, or you're coming across to Route 8, come to Route 13, and we'll guide you in to the parking areas. If you're camping, we'll guide you to here, and if you're just day parking, we'll guide you into the parking areas. So, and again, the information's the same, the app, WTMC, and so on. And I'll stop there. Any questions? Man gets so great to go into Dover International Speedway, and it backs up on 13 and starts to even back up on Route 1, trying to get in the main gate. We will, and we're set up to close southbound exit of 104, send the traffic southbound on Route 1 to exit 95, to come back north on US 13. We do that because we can stack more cars in there, but also, and during the races and all, this lot is less used than it should be. And so, coming up from the south, we can store more traffic and manage it better, let this clear out, and then we open 104. Gene's going to stick his neck out. He usually gets slapped for doing this. But I do not think we're going to have to close 104. That's why I'm not pushing it. I believe the way the traffic arrives for this event, and it's a 24-hour basis we allow things to happen, I don't expect. The only time would be we have an incident or something causes a restriction that impacts how we manage traffic. Yes,
how comparable are the NASCAR traffic patterns to the music festival patterns, and how does that help out?
Well, it's very similar. We always say we want to make sure they know this is going on, all the events, from NASCAR to Firefly, now Big Barrel, is that you can help us by, if not necessary, going into the area. But I want to tell you, just like with NASCAR, that there is actually less traffic using 13 once the race is on than on a normal day. People in this area avoid it. And so you, and even with Firefly, we do not have overall, once we get the campers in and everything, but I would still, if you should stay away from 13 in this area if you can avoid it, but I don't see it as a big traffic issue. The thing to watch is always pedestrians. That's our biggest concern. We have a lot of pedestrians that cross streets and so forth, and be very careful if you're in the area to watch for pedestrians.
There's a